This is Trading Nichols and Mrs. Trading Nichols. How you doing tonight?
Hi, everybody. I'm doing good.
This is actually our second try. The first recording did not take, so I hope you're patient for a later stream this evening. Tonight, we are going to show you how to set up your characters. You know, we've got Rarity Manifested on Fantom. New game, only existed for a few days, already over 1 million NFTs minted. And what's whoa, I promised I hit this to mute. I told that side to mute. All right. So that way we can keep an eye on the chat. All right. So what we've got with these NFTs is we have a D&D situation. Now, Weston Nelson is not has not played D&D for the last 30 years like my wife and I have. Not that we've played together that long, but you know, like so setting up a character, what attributes are good? It really depends on you, but we have a guide that's sort of going to help you understand what attributes do what in the game. Also understand, it's kind of like Bard's Tale. What was the other game that you said it was like?
It's a great deal like Baldur's Gate.
Okay. That's fantastic. So let's see if we can share the screen here.
Those who are young enough and do not know what Baldur's Gate is, the other games you might recognize is Dragon Age or Mass Effect.
As far as the attributes go, the game itself we don't know much about. We just have characters and the ability to send them to adventure.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and a nasty little tip for you. Weston, I told him not to go in the cave. I knew he wasn't ready. It didn't go well. Don't go in the cave. At least level 1, it doesn't work.
No. I actually sent my rogue in there not to fight, but to scout, and it still didn't work.
Yeah, that's what we did earlier.
Yeah.
Now, if it could just let me share this silly screen, or I might just physically pick up the monitor and hold it. Because I know if I go full screen on this and I'm not in the screen, the sound goes away. Okay, so I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to pick up the monitor.
Oh, gosh.
It literally, it won't share without deleting us.
Okay.
Or we will have no voice.
Okay, hold on. What's going to happen is I'm going to hold it in my lap.
Wow. All right, so this is like the worst, hokiest live stream ever.
Okay.
All right, you'll be able to hear my wife maybe better than me, but oh, this is awful.
Oh, you can't even see it. Oh, that's even worse, honey.
I got the glare off. Okay, so you know, guys know when I hit this button, it's going to make us disappear, and you're not going to hear us. But that is what we're trying to show you. Okay, so that's the screen that we're trying to show you. I hope you got a good look at that.
Okay, honey, let me put it back.
Crazy enough to try to put that monitor back.
No, I'm not crazy enough to do that. I love you. I'm not.
Okay. All right, so we have the character. Unfortunately, you guys can't see it at the same time. I know that sucks, and I apologize. But I know that if I put that screen full screen and I don't see me in what you guys see, it disappears. So we've got the character, a fighter, and right now they're all 8 strength, 8 dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, all that. Okay.
Right.
So all 8s. Now, typically speaking with the fighter, you're going to want to have it pretty strong.
Yes.
So we're actually going to put that really high, and I hope you can see it at the same time. I'm not sure what you can see, but as I make it bigger and stronger, if I get up to level 15 strength, it costs 1 point, but at 16 strength, it costs 2 points, and 17 strength, it costs 3 points. That's right. And they don't recommend a lot of the dexterity, but I really think you should have some. And they also said it depends. So taking a look at our little rarity guide. First time we stream, we remember to silence our phones and everything. This is our second try. We're doing way worse.
Yeah.
Zoom deleted us. You can blame them. All right, so for the fighter now, thanks, love. So for the fighter, it suggests 16 in the third attribute. The third attribute down is Constitution. That makes a lot of sense. You want have a lot of health.
Yes.
If you're going to be a tank and in front of everybody, you want to be tough, right? I really hope you guys can see this. Someone said gaming and I came. That's right, Crypto Track. Crypto Track was one that made me think that maybe I should have more than one of these characters, possibly even 3. So if I had one that I focus on, that's great. And if I have a second one, if the price really goes up, I can sell it. And if I'm wrong and it goes up way more, I have a third one that I can sell as well. Right, Crypto Track? Yeah, I know, because we talked about that. Much appreciated, sir. All right, so Crypto Track, if you have a second to tell us, I don't think you can see the screen. But if I put it on full screen from them, does our sound disappear? I believe it does. So, all right. That's the character development so far. That's the character development so far. Is it play to earn? We don't know yet. The game has only just gotten started. So the cost of a transaction on the Fantom network, anything that you are trying to do, it's essentially free. I mean, it's not. It costs, between 0.2 cents and 3 cents, depending on the busyness of. You can hear me. That's fantastic. It depends on the busyness of the network. 0.2 cents to 3 cents is usually how much it costs to create the NFT. It's very inexpensive. So our guess as a team, not that we have any advanced intel, just our guess as gamers and players, is that the value is going to be in playing with these characters, making them strong, getting them great equipment, and hopefully it's something that you can pay to play or just play it and end up getting value that other people will find valuable. I personally think that either way could be of use because, well, have you ever played in games where you had to sink money into? Do you have any thoughts on this?
I have played some games where you need to sink money into. I mean, one of the games that you sink money into just a little bit, at least for subscription, happens to be World of Warcraft. That's what I'm really into right now. But as for buying things and stuff like that, it would make life easier to sink your money into it. It's also easier if they give you the ability, even though it may take longer, to slowly gather everything you need instead of automatically having it.
Okay.
So honestly, whether or not they do something like that where you have the ability to go out and earn something like they have inventory now, but there's nothing in it yet. But if they actually set it up where as you find the gold, that so much gold can be transferred into money that can be then paid for the character, that would actually
that taps in well with what's coming next. Is gold's not available on it yet, but gold will be available soon.
Yeah,
that's one of the next things that they're going to add in.
And the question is, what are they going to be able to do with the gold?
Right. So, I mean, one of the concepts that's really cool about an NFT character, as you create it and you add items to it and you play the game and you discover these items, you can get things that are unique or you could get things that are common, I suppose. But those are items that you could have for your character and you could barter with other characters for things that they need or things that they want. Or you could, so I can imagine if you look back at World of Warcraft before it got regulated out, back in the day, you could go play quests and get awesome things, and you could sell that on the open market. It was really pretty cool, but with crypto and decentralization, it changes the dynamic. It makes it much more difficult for the powers that be to take it away. It's forever on the blockchain. It's going to exist. It's going to have value. Your characters can't be deleted. What? Did you have something else to say?
No, you're doing fine.
All right. So far we've put in a few dexterity, 17 strength, 15 Constitution. And now what's interesting about this guide, and we'll be sure to add it to the description before after the live, is that they're suggesting plenty of wisdom.
Honestly, I did not understand that at the time, but after reading up on it, what wisdom does is supposedly you are smart enough not to be trapped in an illusion or something. Oh, that would be so good. Thank you, honey.
Yeah, no problem. So the idea is if he's a tank and he's going to get those spells hit on him before anyone else, you want him to, not get filled by an illusion. That's actually an example I invented, but it makes sense thinking kind of back.
Yeah.
And so, our third character is probably going to be wisdom. And let's see if the guide has any other help on this fighter.
Well, just so everybody knows, on my personal is the fact that I like charisma. Any character I have, if they allow me to assign my attributes, I will put them in the things depending on my character. Like a fighter, strength and constitution would be the first things I did. However, for my third thing, it would always be charisma. And the reason why I pick charisma for all my characters for the third thing is because of the fact that charisma allows you to barter better. Either you can make an enemy into a friend, you can sell things for more, you can buy things cheaper. You can get away with a lot of stuff because you are charming. I'm sorry, it is a known fact in society, even today. It's those who look good get away with just a little bit more than those who don't. Us average people, you have to be charming in another way. But those who literally, superstars and things like that, literally they can go out. Fans will do just about anything for their idols. They will.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think it has something to do with the talent of being able to sing or act. I won't judge that. That is a talent they have, and it does put into it. But it also is because of the way they look. It really is.
I was taking a look at this and this guide, and it says crossbows, rapiers, scimitars, short swords. These lighter, finer weapons, you could actually build a fighter using dexterity rather than strength. But I'm thinking I'll go strength with this little guy, and I think I'm also going to add in a charm, which is not something they particularly recommend. But I think she's got a point, because I went through and none of my characters have charm. Her character that we built earlier for the video no one will ever see because Zoom deleted. Thank you, Zoom. She has charisma, but none of my characters have charisma. If someone doesn't have charisma in the party, we are going to have problems. So I've got 2 points left. I get 10 charisma. Okay, the tank's not going to do so great on the charisma, but he's going to be even dumber. He's got no intelligence, but tons of wisdom. I guess if you live long enough, you can know a lot of things, even if you ain't too bright. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and confirm the points distribution here. And right now it's costing me 0.007 Fantom. And if Fantom's about $1.50, that is very, very cheap. Yep. This is no Ethereum insanity game where people are paying up to $500 of Ethereum because the network's congested and they want to get something done. No, this is inexpensive. It's something that you can have a hobby, not put a lot of money into so far. I don't know how it's going to be long term. I don't know if it's going to get more expensive to make to be competitive, but this is what it is now. Right now, I can play with it on a budget. Speaking of, there's something that you can do with your characters that is not on a budget, but maybe you value your time and you're long on the potential of this game. You can actually send your characters to daycare. I actually can. I hate that I don't know how to share the screen like Weston. I'll have to get a view. I really believe this makes the sound disappear. But there's the Daycare Center, and it's about 34 Fantom to train my 10 or 12 characters for the next 30 days. and that is a lot more expensive than if you just did it manually every day. Yeah, there's a risk you could forget, but as my wife pointed out, there's also a risk that you will not remember to come back in 31 days. I mean, there's always a risk.
Now, actually, thinking about it, there is a good use for daycare that I would use it for. Let's say that we went on vacation.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to be gone 2 weeks. I put down 14 days to be taken care of, just to be on the safe side in case I get so caught up with being with my family, I forget about it.
That's a great idea. Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit more expensive, but when you're with family, you know, that is some very precious time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't value that enough. Thanks, love. Okay, so I'm going to try to share my screen again. I hope you guys can see it, and I think it still shows my volume popping off. So we are going to reshare, and I'm going to let you know that I set up a paladin, and I set it up pretty tough. I went nutso on the strength. Very expensive. Hardly has any dexterity. Hardly has any constitution. Doesn't have anything else, but he is strong. Clearly, as I level, I'm going to have to put points in other things, but this gets him a little bit started. Now, I also have a paladin. That's a blank slate. And during our earlier attempt at this video, my sweet love had an idea of what we should do with the characters. Yes.
Okay, the plan is, I thought that it would be an interesting way to get, well, you guys involved. Now, if you're interested in doing it yourself and getting your own account, no problem. Go ahead. It should be a lot of fun. Give it a shot. But those of you who either don't have the time or don't have the money, what we're going to do is we're actually asking you guys to vote. We have 32 points available. The question is, where should we put them? And give us an order of, you know, should we put, you know, most of it in strength, and, you know, strength as our first priority, dexterity is our second, charm as our fourth, you know. Pick the order you think we should categorize of what is most important. We will take the most popular answers and we will actually add that to our character. And we will let you guys try and keep you guys up to date as the character goes along, as it levels, depending on how it does, and see how everybody did. You know, were we correct? And, you know, were you correct on the choices you made? Or did we just really make a paladin?
I just realized they better like us. If they have a bunch of these NFTs and they want us to lose, they might set up our character really funky. But you know what? If you say it, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to put our money on the line and set up this character the way you said it. Now, to be fair, if it's a complete flop, I can reset it. But I think you guys are going to look out for us.
Yeah. Of course, you know, one of the nice things about that is if it works, we could always say we were smart enough to listen to our listeners. If it doesn't, we could always say, wasn't our fault. We didn't choose.
Now, should we?
I'm joking, but I figured that'd get everybody a good laugh.
If we die, it's your fault. Let's see. Now, should we help them out? Should we just direct them to it, or should we tell them a little bit about what the guide thinks the cleric may need to be good at?
Well, let's read it out to them. And for me, I mean, I still cannot believe they did not do charm. I think charm should have been above strength, in my opinion, for a cleric.
Okay, so I've just been flashing what we're sharing quickly in case the volume drops out like it did on Weston when he was sharing the screen. But hold on, I actually hear myself real quick.
For a cleric.
Just real quick, I apologize. It's a little bit sucky video, but I need to know if you guys can hear me when that plays.
Should have been above.
Yes, they can hear. Okay. All right. Perfect. Perfect. All right. You guys can see what we can see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for the cleric, We've got recommendation of just a little bit of armor and dexterity. Clerics do tend to fight with their fists or cudgels in some games. And you can make it more of a combat cleric, they say. They say plenty of health, but they suggest which is this skill? The second to last skill is a wisdom. So they suggest a lot of wisdom. Why do they suggest so much wisdom? In any case, none of these physical scores should be your dump stats and should be at least be a neutral tens.
Wisdom happens to be heal. A cleric is actually known as the healer of the group. It always has been.
So they're suggesting if we want a really strong healer out of a cleric to maybe even do an 18.
And as I said, I mean, I don't know if any of the other sorcerers and mages and all of them do any heal, but the cleric is known as a healer. Always has been. No matter what category, what game you play, that has always been a cleric's biggest strength, is they heal the group.
I've always kind of felt like they're like a healthy, they're through their righteousness, they have the ability to get you healed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that makes sense for wisdom. Honestly, in my opinion, the next thing should be intelligence.
Okay. And in this particular case, it thinks no intelligence. An intelligence of 8.
See, anything that deals with magic, wisdom and intelligence should be one of the first things you actually build up.
So the cleric, according to this, if it has an additional intelligence, it'll help with its arcana, history, religion, and the planes. So maybe they're just suggesting just keep everyone alive, and then we can maybe grow that later in the character. I'm not sure what they're thinking.
Maybe. Everybody has their own way of doing things. Just because I do it one way, somebody else might not approve and do it a different way. Honestly, if I had the ability, I'd make all my characters actually have the exact same. Yeah, everybody would be a 50. And I'd slowly build up that way. But you can't do it that way because it just doesn't work. Because some people, if you try to even it out, then they become average. And to get it high enough to be able to fight on your own, you'd actually need people who are willing to support you until you get there. So it's not worth it.
Now, there's a reason why I brought up Bard's Tell is because they're actually suggesting quite a bit of dexterity. The second attribute is dexterity. And I think they're suggesting quite a bit of dexterity is because wizards are squishy.
This is a sorcerer, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I could be wrong, but I kind of feel like it's the same difference. They're recommending more dexterity because it's actually an armor modifier. They can't wear heavy armor and carry it around. They're not tough. But if you have the ability to dodge, that's essentially higher armor because the ability to dodge, weave around, and minimize your damage is calculated in, at least in the old 1980s game that I played in the early 90s. It was considered supposed to be the greatest game of the 80s or some such for RPGs. I can't remember quite the award that they had at the time.
But see, what I'm looking at is the fact that it doesn't even seem to require charm in any form, which I really don't care who you are. Everybody needs charm. But see, that should always be a number 3 option, at least.
Well, I'm going to look through them real quick and see if there's something
Not now, please, kids. Sorry about that.
They actually suggest a lot of charm for the sorcerer. They do. That's the first thing I've seen on this guide. Doesn't particularly... Let's see. Sorcerer's magic. I'll show you guys. A sorcerer's magic comes from their ancestry. There's a deep wellspring that resides within them, and their charisma score is their spellcasting ability. It shows how well they can tap into those sorcerer's powers. Regardless of what sorcerer build you're shooting for, you'll want your charisma spellcasting be at least 16. Usually want it as high as possible. You also probably want to spend your first ability score improvement to reach a charisma of 18 to get up to a +4 attack modifier on those spell attack rolls.
Actually,
interesting.
You know the one I'd like to look at?
What's that?
Let's look at a bard. And the reason why I want to look at a bard is the only one that I honestly think charm should be the number one thing to go to. I mean, that should be the first thing that you get up there. And
do you have any other opinions before we show the guide? It's so long they can't see it. She can't see it yet. Any other ideas you want to share about a bard before we see what the guide says?
Well, a bard literally is an entertainer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, he uses spells and things, through his music or his storytelling or whatever to get what he needs. But he's an entertainer. Charm is the way to go.
Okay. Well, I think you're right about that. Going to scroll down and share it now.
And look at that. Charm. First time I've seen one so high. 16.
All right. So they agree. Lots of charm. And then right behind that is a little less wisdom than intelligence. I guess wisdom would help them how? Well, let's see. Sense of motive, profession, listening. Yeah. I can see how that would help a bard, because you can't listen very well or understand what's going around you. How can you tell the incredible tales if you are not observant of what's around you to make it believable?
I understand why dexterity would be a big thing, because you have to have very nimble fingers and things like that to play your instrument or whatever it is. Dexterity would play a big role in this. Now, they say dexterity goes into escape artist and hiding and balance and bluff. Bluff is under charm.
That makes sense. That's exactly right. So you got dexterity for escaping. Yeah, it looks like they actually suggest quite a bit of dexterity, about a 14 score. That makes sense.
Sleight of hand. I can definitely see sleight of hand being used by a bard as well as a rogue, and dexterity would be extremely good for that.
You know what that makes me laugh about?
What?
It makes me think about the real magicians that we have in our world. Because they're there to tell a story. They're there to have sleight of hand and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it does say use magic devices. That their charm helps them with that. Okay.
So so they obviously agree that out of all of them, charm for a bard is the number one thing you should do, and I totally agree with that.
Okay. Excellent. I know there's a lot of them. We probably shouldn't go through them all. Save some for another chat.
Yes, probably.
Okay. So very much appreciated for your feedback, Crypto Track. You be safe out there on the road. Any final thoughts about NFTs? Are you excited about the future? Does this feel different than what you've done in the past with the games?
Not yet.
Okay,
because I've never actually been at the starting point of a game before, so that's different. But setting yourself up, that seems pretty simple and straightforward. I have played games, especially nowadays, where except for it's never been a whole day. Usually it's like 2 hours before they let you do something again, stuff like that. So I do have some understanding of it, but as I said, it's just beginning. You don't know what's going to happen. So it's an adventure in itself to see what goes on.
Well, speaking of adventure, I haven't actually shown it yet, but there's this character. He has not had his adventure today.
Oh, yeah, get him started. Okay, you're about to see him go on an adventure.
So it's going to cost me 0.002 Fantom, which is, less than a penny.
And he's slaying monsters right now.
Yes, he is.
Now, if he had actually gone to... Oh, and victory! Now, if he'd actually gone to a dungeon instead, unfortunately, most likely it would have said...
why don't we show him?
Okay, go to a dungeon. Let's show him what happens.
Okay, so it's still trying to tell me about this victory that we had. But I have a suspicion we should do the rogue. Wizard's ready for adventure too, so might as well do that real quick. Now you're watching me play a game. That's just not our kind of channel, is it? It looks like the network is not busy right now. So while that's working, I will pull up another screen to get cracking.
Oh, start another adventure.
Yeah,
Oh, here's one. Which one are we looking? Oh, yeah,
I'm looking for a rogue, and the screen. I noticed.
Yeah, you got the ranger.
Got the ranger, and the picture sometimes doesn't catch up. Okay, so we're on the rogue for a reason, because rogues should be good scouts.
Yes, because of hiding and things like that.
So now we're gonna go to the dungeon, and now don't do it.
Don't do it. The attack.
You're less than level 1. See, so I set which character I'm on, and now I can scout. What does it say?
Weakling, you stand no chance.
Yeah. I had that feeling. I've played enough that I was like, Weston, you're level 1. Don't do it. He still hasn't checked back on his wizard.
His wizard, huh? Not sure what that is, but we should check on him and his wizard next time now.
All right. We better close this out. Just remember, we here at the Crypto Trade, we just started playing with these NFTs, but oh wow, that's a bunch of well alerts just now. So we here at the Crypto Trade can help you learn about trading, investing. We can help you at whatever level you are to take you to your next level. And it's also about community. I know we have these tools. I know we have things to help you with the data that you need for studying the markets and getting better at it. But also know that really, more than anything, it is about community. And be sure to check out the most related video that pops up next, and trade safe.
Yeah.